pretty. Come along. Hey garden gals and guys, it's Steph with Tiny's Garden, and today is one of my favorite videos of the year, a tulip tour for this 2023 season. Let's get it. For those of you new here, welcome. I am Steph, gardening in Zone 5B in the Chicago suburbs as an avid hobby cut flower grower and lover of gardening. And today I'm going to take you through all the tulips on my property. So the bang of the show is right here in the front garden beds. The bang of the show? The stars of the show are right here in the front garden beds. And my husband and I planted these last fall. We are in a cold climate, so once they're planted in the fall, they get that deep cold that they need over winter, and then they come up beautifully in the spring. And I have to say, I think this is our best show yet. I'm going to tell you where I got the bulbs, how I planted them, also what varieties are which, and then I'll take you to my back cutting garden where I am growing some to pull for bouquets. So let's get started. As you can see, some of them are starting to fade just a little bit today, and I have been taking video throughout the week of these because they have been at their prime, looking so spectacular. So I'll insert some video from earlier this week as well. Glorious, glorious. My best show yet. Look at those color combos. But if you see some that are on their way out, it's just that time of year. However, I'm going to give you an overall look throughout the entire week as well. So here is a look as you pull into our driveways. This is where the big show is. I will give you an up-close look at all of these, but I've got the same variety up here and then the same variety back here. And all together, it's just a really wonderful, welcoming show. Let's come down and get a closer look. This one here is called Beauty of Spring, and it was the very first to push through the soil and show any color. It started out as a yellow, and I wasn't sure what to expect. To be honest, I wasn't crazy about it at first, but as it matures, it gets into a bright yellow with a red outline, and as it opens up, you can see this red outline even more. So I've decided I do like it. It's a very pretty flower. Also great for an early spring show. These have started to fade a little bit, so their coloring almost looks like a vanilla or an off-white, but really earlier in the week I'll put something on the screen so you can see. It's a nice, gorgeous yellow color. I wasn't sure about these at first, but now I really like them in full bloom. These are the Beauty of Spring, and if you want a really tall stemmed tulip, this is it. I've got them planted in packs in the front here, and I think it's a really nice soft entrance leading to the big show back here with the drift through this bed, and of course around the tree in this bed of the tulips. Over here on the opposite side, we have the same Beauty of Spring planted here. Earlier this spring, I actually drove over. I cut the corner too short and drove over this line. So this line did not fare as well, but everything else looks great. A couple of the red ones over there are left over from last year, and there's also one back here, but they don't always perennialize, so I plant them new every single year. So a good guideline is the size of the bulb that you're planting is how deep you will plant your hole. So we drill down about 4 inches because our heavy clay soil is hard to dig into, but we get down there pretty much as low as we can go, 4 to 6 inches, put some bulb tone in there, and then cover it up, and that's it. We just wait over the winter and see the show in the spring. Oh, and another major thing that'll be a game changer for you when planting bulbs, if you're doing a ton of bulbs, is to buy an auger. We'll show you what an auger looks like if you need one, but it's so much easier to aug holes and throw your bulbs in there than using a shovel. Believe me, game changer. Use an auger to plant your bulbs. This is an example of an auger. This one you can use while standing because it is taller, so you simply put it into your soil and use a drill to drill down with it 4 to 6 inches, and reverse, come back out, put your bulb in with your bulb tone and cover back up. This is worth it. We have a small one, we have this long one. Whatever you can find that works for you, I highly, highly recommend it. Now this spot right here under this serviceberry tree is always my favorite. The way it just circles around the tree I think is so welcoming and so beautiful. They are vivid, they are vibrant. There's several different varieties in here, but I got all of these bulbs from Color Blends, and this particular blend is called the Big Ups. Now on the opposite side, we have this nice long drift that comes all the way through this garden bed in a little curved angle. And we made this drift bigger this year, and I'm happy we did. It's just more impact and really curves nicely throughout the bed around the hydrangeas and the sedum down there. I just love it. It's a little more meadow-like, really natural. I mean, I definitely planted all of these, but the zigzag and the way it curves is kind of ethereal, and I like that it's a little different than the garden bed directly across from here. This blend is also the Big Ups, and I minimalized this year so that I didn't have a ton of different varieties, just those two, both from Color Blends, the Beauty of Spring in the front and the Big Ups in the back on both sides, and I think it creates a really nice, crisp, cohesive show with a little bit of dimension still. Now two of my favorite ones in this blend, if we come down here, and I'm glad these haven't faded yet. Look at this beauty. It is gorgeous. A nice orangish color with a red paint stroke in it. So beautiful. I don't know what the name of it is because it is part of this blend, but I love that. And also this deep, beautiful red with a little bit of purple veining through it. Oh, it's so luxurious. Beautiful, beautiful. Now we're in the front of this garden bed, and I want to give you an example of why I plant tulips every year. This tulip right here is beautiful, but it is a variety that I planted last year. If I can remember what it's called, I'll put it on the screen. But this whole area was planted last year, and all of them did come up, but I didn't plant anything here this year, and only 3 came back up. So it's a pretty small number. That's why I suggest if you want a big impactful show, be sure to plant every year. If you want to be a little more budget conscious and don't have the funds maybe to buy a new grouping every year, that's okay. What you can do is plant Darwin hybrid tulips, and they're more likely to perennialize. So maybe try those first, see how they do for you the first couple years. The first year should be no problem. See how many come back the second year, and then you can decide what method works best for you. Now up here this year was a bit of a failure, if I'm being honest. Not a complete fail, because you do see a couple tulip blooms here, but last year's show up here was beautiful. I did plant some bulbs on each side of the sidewalk, as I did last year, going this way and out, but we had a lot of rainfall. I had some erosion happen with the soil. I think I had a bunch of squirrels that got to these. I never put out my Repelzol, and so I just did not have the amount come up that I should have. I love this particular variety, which is also from Color Blends. It is the Velvet Underground, I believe, and you'll see these in their prime in the back where we're going next. But I wish it would have filled out the whole body of each side here because it would have been glorious. But I'll take the few that I have on both sides. I'm gonna try and attack this next year, having more soil here, cleaning these out, getting a lot of soil in there so that there's more to actually plant in, and then being sure that I repel all this area for those squirrels. So if you had a spot that didn't quite work out, it's okay. I do too. We all do. Now we're in the back cutting garden, and this area here is looking quite beautiful because a lot of these have opened, but that's also the problem in a cutting garden. When you're growing tulips for bouquets or to cut, you usually want to pull them when they're just at a cracked stage where you can see some of the color. I'll show you in a past video that I did. And something like this would be past its prime because it's already opening up. So ideally I get to it before that so it has more days in a vase. However, something like this is looking really good, or even something like this is probably perfect, that when I squish it, it's just like a little marshmallow and I can see its coloring coming through, but not where they're completely open. So this year has been a trial year for these. I did manage to get 3 or 4 bouquets out at the mostly appropriate time where they'd have a longer vase life. But these I'll still probably give away to family because they're beautiful. They'll just have less of a vase life because they're already open. But let's come down and see the varieties. There are some that will be okay if I pull them now because I can see some of the color. They would save well in a fridge. If I put them in a refrigerator and hold them for a little bit, they would be fine for Mother's Day, say, because they're at the appropriate stage. So you'll see different stages throughout this bed. I also have to say, there's some varieties that I'm disappointed with that are not as pretty as I thought they would be. And then there's some varieties that I'm awestruck. So let's come and take a look.
Okay, this grouping right here is what I just showed you up front, Velvet Underground. And it's got that green feathering on the side, which is really beautiful, in white, yellow, and this deep, gorgeous red. See if I can get up close here. Oh, I just think these are absolutely stunning. One of my favorites from this year. I will probably try with the same varieties up front again and then get even more for pooling for bouquets. Beautiful. Also color blends.
Now we have one that has surprised me this year. I am not an orange type of gal, but this is a beauty. This is called Orca, and I showed this in my tulip harvesting video. It is so stunning. I've got several with multiple blooms on the same stem, or even 3 on the same stalk. They are just gorgeous. They're starting to go out now because they've been open for several days, but they've got the most beautiful purple green striping on the side, and then on the actual flower an orange with a purple streak. Just stunning. This is going to be a repeater for me. Oh, so beautiful. Now we're at this one here, and I have to say it has been a bit of a disappointment. Not even a bit, it's been a disappointment. This is La Belle Epoque, and a lot of people absolutely love and adore this one. It's a pretty mauve. I can see how it would be beautiful. Almost a dusty mauve, but it's just weak looking to me. Not very big. The color's not striking. I think the bulbs were okay. They were from the flower hat, I believe, and I was happy with the quality of the bulbs. Also, a lot of critters must have gotten here because I was supposed to have 20, but this just underwhelms me. Now this one over here I think is really cool. This is called Rococo. It is a parrot tulip, and it has the coolest deep red color, but then it has feathering of some purple and yellow. If you come down close, you can see it's not the tallest, it's one of the shortest ones I have, so it's not great for stem length in a bouquet, but I still think it's super cool. I would grow this again. I just love that deep, moody coloring in it. These two right here kind of go together. This one is called Crystal Star. It is a yellow fringe type of tulip. I wasn't sure about it when it first started coming up, but now that it's blooming, it is a little prettier. And then this is called Crystal Beauty, and I like this one better just because I'm a red gal, but this is red with fringe and then also a little faint purple striping. And these look pretty as they open, but they are on the smaller side if you compare it back here to that Velvet Underground parrot tulip. Then here we have Queen of the Night, and she's a little smaller than I expected. I expected her to be a little bigger, but she's still quite striking. a really midnight purple burgundy color, definitely more on the purple side. But I think this paired with orca planted in a landscape would be very pretty. So Queen of the Night is right here. That completes the tulip tour section of this video. I am going to give you a sneak peek at my ranunculus though before we finish up because I am so excited. I will bring you a tour of this in the upcoming days, but I couldn't resist showing you what I found today. Come and look at my ranunculus bed. You guys, there's buds. 1, 2, 3 on this one. 3 over here. 4 down there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, 10. No, that's just a dead leaf. 10, 11. They're getting ready to bloom. They're all budded up. I cannot wait. It's gonna happen. They've been a little stressed with the 80-degree temperature today, but I'm gonna give them a good watering now, so stay tuned for some ranunculus blooms. For those of you who don't know, I tried really, really hard this year to get these to all come to fruition, and it has worked so far. Last year was a complete fail. So try and try again, my friends. Okay, that completes this video. Please comment below and let me know what your favorite tulip you've planted this year is. And also remember to subscribe to my channel to follow along with all things garden. We'll see you in the next one, everybody. Happy planting. Bye.